After 10 years of marriage, she filed for divorce. Said she needed time to be alone. But the moment I finally started a new relationship, she reappeared, like nothing ever happened. Now she wants to come back. Our marriage looked normal. I worked full-time. She had a career that gave her freedom, travel, late nights, flexible deadlines. We split bills. We went to family functions. We bought furniture together. We looked fine. But something was off. Not all at once. It was gradual, like a faucet drip you try to ignore at first. Her smile stopped reaching her eyes. Her phone never left her hand. She started spending more nights, finishing reports or meeting clients. I didn't press. I didn't want to be that guy, insecure, paranoid, controlling. So I told myself I trusted her. I kept the peace. I played the role. The first real crack came when I noticed her wedding ring was gone. No story, no accident, just gone. One day it was there, the next it wasn't. I saw her hands at dinner. At night. Nothing. I never asked. I just stared at her bare finger and tried to pretend it was normal. Maybe she forgot it. Maybe she lost it. Maybe I didn't want to hear the reason. So I let it go. Weeks later, I ran into someone we both knew. Not a close friend, more like one of those people you share a few mutuals with on social media. They made a comment. Said it was cute how she and a certain coworker always traveled together. How they were inseparable. I nodded, smiled, laughed like it was a joke. But my stomach dropped. I didn't ask questions. Didn't confront her. Because deep down, I already knew. I had known for a long time. That was the moment something in me cracked. Not loudly, not with anger or screaming, just a quiet shift. I stopped hoping. I stopped pretending we were good. But I still didn't leave. I wasn't ready to throw away 10 years just because I finally admitted what had been obvious for most of them. So I stayed. Slept beside her. Ate dinner across from her. Played the role like nothing had changed. But everything had. I saw her differently. I saw me differently. I wasn't a husband anymore. I was background noise in her new life, the one she had already moved on to, while I was still holding on to a version of us that didn't exist anymore. I started noticing how easily she lied. The way she smiled through excuses. The way she avoided eye contact when I asked basic questions. She wasn't even good at hiding it. She just didn't care if I saw. That was worse than the lying. That level of indifference. Like I didn't matter enough to even cover her tracks. But I kept showing up. Kept paying bills. Kept folding laundry. Kept pretending. Not because I believed her. I didn't. I just didn't want to start over. I didn't want to answer questions from family. I didn't want to explain how a decade dissolved right in front of me. I wanted to fix something that had already been thrown away. She wasn't mean. She wasn't violent. She just wasn't present. She lived in her phone, in her job, in her stories that never added up. I told myself I could bring her back. That if I was just more patient, more supportive, more understanding, she'd come around. But that wasn't the truth. The truth was she was already gone. And I was just standing in the ruins of something she had already walked away from, pretending it still had walls and a roof and a future. The worst part? I knew I deserved better. I just didn't believe I could find it. So I stayed in the lie because it was easier than facing the loneliness on the other side of it. I told myself that being tolerated was better than being alone. But even lies run out of air eventually. And I was suffocating. She filed without saying a word. No fight. No conversation. No attempt at repair. Just a notification on my phone from the attorney she'd hired behind my back. I was still brushing my teeth when I saw it. My name. Her name. Divorce. That night she came home, packed a few bags, and left. I didn't ask where she was going. She didn't offer. She didn't slam the door or yell or cry. Just walked out like she was late to something more important. Like I was a job she'd already quit, and this was just her final clock out. I didn't chase her. I sat down on the couch and stared at the same spot on the wall for hours. I didn't drink. Didn't scream. Didn't call friends or try to make sense of it. There was nothing left to make sense of. She was done. She'd probably been done for years. This was just the last step on a path she'd been paving while I kept pretending we were still building something together. A week later, I found out the truth. She didn't move in with a friend. She didn't get a solo apartment to focus on herself. She moved in with him, the same guy she traveled with, the one people had made jokes about. She didn't even wait. Not even a full week of space or dignity. It was all lined up. I was just the exit she used to soften her landing. I'd like to say it shocked me, but it didn't. It stung, yeah. But mostly it just confirmed what I already knew. I wasn't her person. I was her placeholder. I was the thing she tolerated while she positioned herself for the life she actually wanted. And then I found something worse. I was clearing out one of the drawers in our office. Old cables, junk mail, a few of her folders she never took with her. I opened one of them out of habit. Inside were property papers, a down payment, mortgage approval, title transfer. Her name. No mention of me. No shared documents. Just her. The place was bought months before she left. Months. While I was sitting across from her at dinner, trying to make plans, trying to keep things alive, she was signing ownership forms for an apartment I didn't know existed. She didn't fall out of love and spiral. She planned her exit. Quietly. Carefully. Like a thief packing up while the house sleeps. That broke something in me. Not the loss. Not the betrayal. Just the coldness of it. The surgical precision. Like I was a project she'd finished and archived. Like I was never supposed to know. Like my existence had been reduced to background noise in a version of her life where I no longer mattered. But then came the silence. And that's where everything changed. No more fake smiles. No more checking phones at midnight. No more awkward questions and half-truths and pretending. Just silence. No texts. No calls. No updates from mutual friends. She was gone. Completely. And for the first time in years, I could breathe without bracing myself for whatever twist was coming next. At first, it felt like nothing. Not relief. Not pain. Just empty space. I didn't suddenly feel lighter. I didn't go out and rediscover myself. I just woke up every day and didn't have to wonder what kind of lie I'd hear that night. I didn't have to convince myself that something broken was still worth fixing. I cleaned the house. Donated the stuff she left behind. Changed the locks. Not out of spite. Just because it was mine now. I could arrange it how I wanted. I could sleep diagonally. I could leave my shoes by the door. I could sit in silence without feeling judged or ignored or dismissed. She never reached out. Not once. No long text. No, I'm sorry. No asking how I was doing. I didn't get closure. I didn't get a final conversation where we hashed it all out. And I didn't need one. Because closure isn't something you're given. It's something you take when you stop needing the person who broke you to explain why they did it. She took her life and left me with mine. At the time, it felt like a loss. But now I see it for what it really was. The beginning of something she couldn't control, because she wasn't part of it anymore. I didn't go looking for anyone. No dating apps, no rebound phase. I wasn't healing. I was just living. Waking up, eating, working, sleeping. Weeks blurred into months. It felt quiet, but not empty. For the first time, I wasn't being drained. She came out of nowhere. The new one. Not flashy. Not loud. Just steady. We bumped into each other at a bookstore, of all places. Talked for a few minutes. Then again, somewhere else. I didn't try. Neither did she. It just happened, without performance or pressure. She didn't interrogate me about my past. Didn't try to fix me. She listened when I spoke, and didn't dig when I didn't. No games. No testing boundaries. Just calm. It was like finding space to exist again after years of being edited down to fit someone else's expectations. I didn't tell her much at first. Not because I was hiding anything. Just because I didn't want to bring my past into something that finally felt clean. It wasn't perfect. We argued. We misread each other sometimes. But none of it felt toxic. No manipulation. No silent treatment. No guessing games. Just two people figuring it out without punishment. Then my ex messaged me. No warning. Just popped back into my life like she still had the right. Said she'd been thinking. Said she made mistakes. Said she realized what she'd lost. But it wasn't regret. It was surveillance. She'd seen photos. Maybe heard things. Maybe someone told her I was doing fine. She didn't like that. It wasn't about me. It was about her not being the last person in the room. She needed control, not closure. She needed to know she still had a say. That she could blow everything up with a single message if she wanted. I didn't reply. Not because I was trying to be above it. Just because I didn't owe her anything. Not an explanation. Not a reaction. Not a piece of my peace. A week later, my girlfriend showed me her phone. My ex had messaged her. Out of nowhere. A wall of text full of twisted timelines, vague accusations, hints that I was unstable, emotionally cold, even manipulative. It wasn't dramatic. It was calculated. Polished. The kind of message that doesn't scream, it whispers. Plants seeds. Casts doubt. I looked at it, handed the phone back, and just said, "Yeah, that's her." I expected questions. Doubt. Maybe a pause in her voice. But there was none of that. She nodded, blocked the number, and we went on with our day. That's when I knew this wasn't just different. It was real. Not because she blindly believed me, but because she saw the situation for what it was. Someone trying to crawl back into a room she burned down. That message wasn't about love. It was about ownership. My ex wasn't sorry. She was territorial. She didn't care about me. She cared that I moved on without needing her permission. She hated that she didn't get to script the aftermath. But this time, she didn't get to rewrite the ending. I didn't make some grand statement. I didn't tell her off. I didn't hit back with a truth bomb. I just didn't engage. She doesn't get to access me anymore. Not through texts. Not through guilt. Not through other people. I built something new. Not perfect. Not dramatic. Just mine. She's still out there somewhere. Probably still spinning the story. Probably still making herself the main character in a version where I ruined everything. Let her. That story isn't mine to fix. I don't feel proud. I don't feel vindicated. I just feel done. The walls had been up too long, and they were too high for me to scale now. And maybe that's the point. Maybe this isn't about winning or proving anything. Maybe it's just about knowing when someone doesn't get a second chance. Not because you hate them, but because you finally love yourself enough to leave it behind.